Well, I can't sleep. Had another one of my nightmarish nights. At least that's the way I put it when I can't sleep, because my brain's like, you close your eyes, you know what you're gonna see. Anxiety's getting worse too. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm gonna go shopping and bump into him. Or go to work, go back to work and bump into him. Or it's always the fear of not knowing what I would do. Everybody's like, are you afraid of the person? Or, you know, you're not a child anymore. It's not. I'm not afraid of being hurt. I'm afraid of how I'd handle it. Because every time I think about it, I think I'd just freeze, you know. I mean, what do you say? What do you do? Do you just keep walking? Do you get angry? Do you get vindictive? Do you get vengeful? Do you just try to let it roll off your back? Like, for someone who's an indecisive person, this is the worst kind of a nightmare, because you just don't know. A friend of mine asked me once what my worst nightmare was, and she didn't understand it when I told her. Maybe someone out there will. My worst nightmare was that everything was normal. I went to a family barbecue. They were all there. He was there. It was just normal. Had my son with me. Had my significant other. And we all just had barbecue. And I can even picture the backyard where the strawberries grew. And the little pathway we would go down whenever we played hide and go seek. And where the little basketball court was. And where the treehouse was. And where the barn was. And where the dog's cage was. Like, I can picture every detail. I can picture every detail of the house. It's almost like I can walk right through it. I could walk through it right now. I could tell someone exactly where everything is, the exact placement, without even having to be there. At least the way it looked when I was there. I remember the smell of the trees. The feel of the rubber boots when I walked to the frog pond. I remember how the mud would dry on me walking back from it. And how it was just peaceful sometimes. I don't always have nightmares. Sometimes I remember the good things, and that's almost as bad. I remember my cousins and the fun I used to have with them, and the babysitting. Oh man, one of the cousins I used to babysit, I would sing to her songs whenever she was upset about something. I just randomly make up songs. I miss them. Out of all my foster homes, that was my family. It's hard. It's hard because one man's actions destroyed it. And me being naive and thinking that telling the truth ruined it. And I'm not blaming myself. I know I did the right thing, telling the truth and getting out of there. And yet, I know I got my mom and my brother, and I have a whole different life now, and I'm happy that I have it. I love my son. I love my boyfriend. But it's hard for me to say that I don't miss that. That I don't miss the family. That I don't miss what that felt like. The warmth that you got out of that kind of family dynamic. A father who loved you, a mother who loved you. They were there for you. And though I'm far from Christian now, it was nice to have all of them believe in the same thing. All of them steadfast, staying by their beliefs. I love that I'm out of my, cozy little box now, and I can experience the greatness that the world has to offer, but that's what makes it such a hard nightmare. Is because, you have that, in my nightmare, I have that sinking feeling that something's wrong. And I know what it is, that he hurt me, and he hurt me for a long time. And yet I'm sitting and eating barbecue and laughing and joking, and everything is okay. But even in the nightmare, I avoid his gaze. I avoid him at all costs. It's funny how fear manifests itself. And it's funny what it does to you. For me, it keeps me awake. But it also does other good things for me. I've been training in martial arts. Keeps me active. Always reminds me to protect my son no matter what. To teach him the do's and don'ts when it comes to strangers. To make sure that he knows that even people who are considered family can sometimes be dangerous. With each mistake comes a lesson. With each scar comes a way to heal someone else with it. That's why I post some of these PTSD stuff up, because I'm hoping that it helps somebody. That maybe one person out there is helped by this. And though I know this may be unlikely and no one is going to understand this, but Brittany, if you can hear me, so sorry that back then I didn't say anything. I was just a scared little girl. But so are you. And if you're out there somewhere and you somehow come across this and watch it, I should have stood by you. I should have not been afraid. Hell of a thing to say to an 11-year-old girl, but seriously, I should have done something. I should have spoke up when I had the chance, and I didn't. And I'm sorry. I need to get some sleep.